You know what they say about pandemics? It's the first 600 days that are always the most difficult, but once we get on the other side of this, we'll learn to love carrying our papers and showing our authorizations to do many menial tasks that we used to take for granted for just, you know what, hey, just for the public safety. We need to all get behind all of this. 15,000 people checked by police during the first day of lockdown of the unvaccinated in Austria. Coming to a country near you. So there's a lot to unpack in that headline. Exactly what the fuck is a lockdown of the unvaccinated? It's as tyrannical as you think it is. We talked about this and touched on it, oh my gosh, about a month ago at this point, where Austria has a very, very high vaccination rate, and the prime minister, the president, I forget his name, said that if, cases continue to go up, they're not looking at doing any more lockdowns, just locking down the unvaccinated. Go back and take a look at that first video of the day. Yeah, just for proof positive that it's not about your health and it's not about keeping anybody quote unquote safe. After Austria on Monday placed a lockdown on all unvaccinated people, the country's interior minister confirmed that 120 people were fined by police officers who were tasked with enforcing the controversial mandate. I'm sure just like Canada, it's overwhelmingly popular by a vast majority of people who were polled in whatever their equivalent of Toronto is. Police officers perform the ungrateful but important task of inspecting public spaces, said Interior Minister Karl Nehammer, adding about 15,000 people were checked throughout Austria in the first 24 hours of the mandate going into effect. It's been far more since then. This has just been published a couple of days ago. So far, Nehammer, whatever, said in a news conference about 120 fines were, yes, handed down, like we just said. That's weird. It's a tough job. The pressure to control has been massively increased, and we love it. That will continue for the next few days. Oh yes, like 15 days to slow the spread. Yeah, just for a few days, this is going to continue. Nehammer said the main focus of the controls was busy streets and restaurants just outside. Cool. Reported Austrian publication Kronen Zeitung. Everything sounds so violent over there. It's an awful language. Those who refuse to participate in the controls face fines of up to 1,450 euros. Wow. Thanks to the additional patrols, something we know extensive amount about, and the standby units that exist throughout Austria, a high level of control can be guaranteed and enforced, and if anybody shall not be in compliance, we have little camps set up for you. General Director of Public Security Franz Ruff reported to, yes, a Zeitung publication. Over the weekend, Chancellor Alexander Schleisenberg said in a news conference that the lockdown for those who are not vaccinated against the coup would go into effect Monday, calling on such individuals to not leave your apartment except for certain reasons, and then just hope you don't get stopped by the cops. Cool. Schleisenberg acknowledged that about a third of Austria's population, or about 2 million, would be affected by the 10-day rule. Just a 10-day rule. Children under the age of 12 who had recently recovered from the coup will be exempt from the controls. How benevolent of you. The government said unvaccinated people will have to stay in their homes unless they are engaged in essential business or travel, the rules stipulate. Oh, cool. So you have to either show proof of the jab, or what, you have to have a fucking hall pass in order to go anywhere? That's awesome. It can happen anywhere and any time. Yeah. Be careful what you wish for. Every citizen has to expect to be checked. I only bring this up because it is definitely 100% coming to many other countries around the world. Not that I have any specific bone to pick with Austria, except I do after this, and the fact that they can't hire police officers, female police officers, with an ass. The move was resoundingly criticized by the opposition party, who questioned whether the rule is constitutional. I'm sure it's not. The right-wing Freedom Party said it would create a tier of second-class citizens just for 10 days. We can justify it that way, I guess. Echoing concerns from civil liberties groups about different vaccine passport schemes that have been rolled out in several U.S. cities and most European nations. And Canada. Ugh, a shitty quasi-socialist state. Demonstrations erupted in the capital city of Vienna as well as Salzburg in a response to the lockdown. The Freedom Party said it would challenge the rule's legality. So far, they've just come up empty-handed. But Schlalberg and other government officials said the lockdown is necessary to deal with the recent rise in COOF cases. Oh, okay, about 65% of Australia's population is fully vaccinated, according to recent government data. Cool, so lock down 45% of your population? So force them inside, okay, the most likely place where viruses can be transmitted, all in the name of public health and safety? Oh, okay. My aim is very clear. Okay, cool. We're just gonna drop that. To get the unvaccinated, to get themselves vaccinated and not lock down the vaccinated. We got it. In the long term is the way out of this vicious circle we are in. Or you could just stop at the vicious circle. How about that? And it is a vicious circle. The Jesus, this redundant asshole. We are stumbling from wave to lockdown. You don't have to. And I can't carry on ad infinitum. Is only vaccination. What a dick. Other European nations, including neighboring Germany and Czech Republic, may also partake in similar lockdown of the unvaccinated. See, it's already spreading. Who could have possibly foreseen that happening? Germany's Green Party co-chair Robert Habeck said the new proposed restriction would be a lockdown of the unvaccinated. Meanwhile, Czech Republic Prime Minister Andrej Babis said this week that his country is considering the same. Yeah, we'll see if that's followed up on, because it sounds just fucking terrible, if we're being completely honest. And again, there's no such instance of this, you know, happening in other places yet. It's just been, you know, wildly unpopular with people. But again, this is about governmental control and about tyranny. They love the control. They don't give a fuck what the people actually think. And it's, once again, not about fucking health. And it hasn't been for a very long time. But let's just go ahead and change gears a little bit for the last story of the day, because there was another interesting story that developed over the week. And I know most of the Rittenhouse stuff just kind of dominated the headlines, but there's another one of those little governmental committees that really could, even though it's kind of just a non-starter, and it's just kind of highlighting that, once again, you can't trust the judicial system. You definitely can't trust these fucking corrupt police officers that are enforcing dumb shit like this. And it's not just something that is happening in the United States and Canada. And this is all over Europe as well. You also can't trust the government and that stupid January 6th committee, which I don't even know what to say about it anymore, but we'll find something to say about it, because it's going to be another video going up in about, you know, what would it be, about 20 minutes time. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.